Cheers!
Hello, cheers. Welcome back to Rach and George. Sorry, it's been a while.
It's been a long time.
You had to go to work, I had to go to work. There wasn't
Sucks.
much to see. It was the shitty season of movies.
I saw one movie. What did I say I saw?
The Accountant?
Oh, yeah.
The Ben Affleck one. The third Ben Affleck movie of 4 this year.
What's the fourth one?
Something about living and dying and live at night. It's a Dennis Lehane movie. He's writing and directing it. That one's gonna be good. Because all the movies he writes direct are good. Anyway.
I don't like Ben Affleck.
Well, he's Batman now, so respect. We're talking about the new J.K. Rowling film, of course, Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. Part 1 of a trilogy that's going to kick everybody's ass. Oh, there's a dog, Kevin. Sorry, if I keep looking over here, there's a friend mocking me.
In a cat
quietly.
suit.
A friend in a cat suit,
There's
yes.
a cat and a dog over there.
Yes. Anyway, so Fantastic Beasts. I'm going to say right up front, spoilers, so watch the movie if you haven't seen it yet, or if you don't care about spoilers.
Go see it.
It's so good.
It's so good.
It's the best Rowling movie so far.
Disagree.
Do you disagree completely? You say Phantom Menace.
I see your point, but...
Sorcerer's Stone is like your go-to?
I mean, yeah, if you're talking Harry Potter movies...
I'm talking about J.K. Rowling wizard movies.
I still go, my heart says number one. The first one, where you're introduced to Hogwarts and everything and learning the world.
The 11-year-old me in me is very much, I'm with her. But I'm a grown-up now, and this movie is fucking... They went for it. She went for it. It's all over the place. It is the most adult, it's the darkest, not that matters, but like, it's also just got so many different themes that are like...
Big themes.
Compelling and interesting and great for, like, if I had a kid, I'd take him for her in a heartbeat. I also wish the movie came out before the election, because... You know.
There's a lot of divided, right?
Yeah.
One of the biggest themes is like magical people and non-mages. Is that what they call them?
Yeah, no mage.
No mage.
There's also, that's muggles in American speak. There's also the whole thing, like one of the big themes of the movie, the biggest theme of the movie is when you take someone who is a certain way and you make them repress how they are, disaster happens. But that's Act 3, we'll get there. So, Newt Scamander is the main character of this movie.
He's so great.
He wrote Fantastic Beasts, Where to Find Them, the little teensy book that was released as like a charity thing.
That textbook we've been hearing about.
The textbook, yeah, which
Harry
it's
Potter
up there.
lives.
It's up there with my book somewhere. It's Eddie Redmayne. Do you know Eddie Redmayne from anything? Anything you want to talk about with Eddie Redmayne?
I don't know him from anything.
Right, I like Eddie Redmayne.
I never saw him.
He's in that awful movie, Jupiter Ascending. Really bad, but he got an Oscar for playing Stephen Hawking. Great performance. He was nominated for playing the guy who transitioned to a lady, so the woman. That was out last year. I didn't see that one. Anyway, really good British actor. He spends the first third of this movie doing this, like, I'm not looking at anybody.
He's like so
thing, and I couldn't figure it out.
Socially awkward.
Very socially
but
awkward.
But then we get to see, so he's carrying around this suitcase the entire time. Like, we already know from the previews that he's got
the menagerie in
Fantastic Beasts in there, but we haven't seen what they are. And we kind of see, like, at the beginning, the whole first part, like 10 minutes, is about.
It starts
like a nifter.
A niffler.
Niffler.
The opening scene's a big, like, people die. You know, like, what's going on? And they're setting up Grindelwald. All you Harry Potter fans know who Grindelwald is. Then the movie really starts with literally, like, Statue of Liberty immigrant arriving on a boat. Eddie Redmayne with his suitcase. And a latch opens up, and like, oh, don't worry about it, we're almost there.
Yeah, we know that something's in there.
Yeah, and he ends up at a bank, and somebody flips a coin, and Nifflers like shiny things. And the Niffler escapes, which is this little, like, possum slash...
Just gold,
what are those?
A gold digger.
What are the duck
a
beavers?
Platypus?
Yes. One
it
of
doesn't
those.
look like a platypus.
It's got kind of a shovel bill. Anyway,
I guess.
That thing escapes, and
they have to catch it in the bank.
They have to catch
it ends up breaking into the vault, and like...
It's just shoveling money into its pocket. There's multiple scenes of this CGI Niffler just sitting there, like, covered in gold, and it's very much like how you feel when you eat chips for too long. Just like, ugh.
But also, like, you could see, like, a sense of guilt in it.
Yeah,
so,
like,
oh, I got caught.
And Redmayne looks at all his creatures, like, he relates to them on a human level, so he always, like, he literally says, like, so many times in this movie, really? You're doing this right now? So, the Niffler escapes. There is a human at this bank as well, a no-mage, if you will, who is there to get a loan for a bank. His name is Jacob Kowalski. Koala. Jacob Koala.
Jacob Koala would be way cuter.
So this movie is very much a people come together and form a unit thing, just like Harry, Ron, and Hermione. This time around, it's 3 wizards, well, a wizard, 2 witches, and a no-mage. That's the thing. So we meet the no-mage first, and he's just nervous about getting this loan. He wants to be a baker, and he's got the same suitcase as Newt's commander does.
Yep.
And
I thought they were gonna pull that suitcase switch way
earlier, yeah.
Way early, because there's like a huge gathering
and
of
they bump into each other.
Magic people.
Yeah, they set that up early too. Ezra Miller plays a really tragic character. There are people in 1920s New York, period piece, and they're out there. Muggles are out there railing against witches because weird things have been happening. Because Grindelwald's out there killing fuckers because he wants to control humans and rise above them and be their emperor, essentially. So outside the bank, there is a clutch of people just listening to this woman rant against witches. And you see Ezra Miller, and he's just like this little timid thing handing out flyers. Anyway, in the bank, the Nomaj, Kowalski sits down next to Newt, and then he sees the Niffler and has to run. And on the bench next to him is a dragon egg.
Yeah, he leaves it there.
That starts to hatch. So that's why they get involved. All of a sudden, there's a dragon egg. They're trying to catch Niffler, and they become.
Oh, and they apparate.
They apparate.
Yeah,
and there's a great moment where I was over there.
There.
Now I'm over here. And just as they get the Niffler back, just as and the dragon hatches, very cute scene. Just as they're about to, obliviate Kowalski, Kowalski just kind of very New York America is punch and runs off, so he can't get that guy obliviated. However, also in this crowd was a kind of a disgraced aura.
Yeah.
Auror.
I heard them say it in an American accent. Auror.
So she arrests Newt's commander because he's brought creatures. He let a Nomaj know about some stuff. Blah blah blah. And they go to the Ministry of Magic for American People, which is called MACUSA, which is the Magical Congress of the United States of America. And it's this huge building with flying airplanes that are memos.
Okay, all of that stuff felt so magical to me to be back in
Harry Potter land, right?
Back in Harry Potter land.
No, she freaked out. Okay, in the opening 3 seconds of the movie, Warner Brothers logo comes up in the clouds.
The music starts.
Do 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 do, and she went.
I had chills. I was feeling it. I have chills so bad right now.
So it's very much part of the universe, and from there, it becomes this misadventure involving these 3 characters at first: Newt's commander and his animals, the Nomaj who's seen some things, and this witch who's trying to get her career back. So she goes to show her boss, look, here's the suitcase, there's animals in it. But of course, him and the Muggle switch suitcases.
Yeah.
And there's just Danishes in there. So she's disgraced again. And the boss is played by Colin Farrell.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Wait, who's that guy?
Which is weird. He's a European actor playing an American character, but as soon as you see him, there's something off about the guy. He seems Nazi-esque. He's got long black robes.
Was Colin Farrell the one in Don't Tell Me? In Bruges?
Yes.
Okay.
In Bruges.
All right. Thank you.
I have a poster for it over there with Colin Farrell on it. Anyway, so now the disgraced witch and Newt, whose name is Tina, by the way, that's the witch's name, they're gonna try and track down the other briefcase. And you see lots of cool shots of the animals. Of course, the Nomaj has the suitcase, Kowalski, and it opens up, and 4 different things escape. Hence the plot, they gotta track those things down. So Newt goes to the scene of the huge destruction with the witch. They get him, he's been bitten, and he's all about ready to obliviate Kowalski, but she's like, what are you doing? You can't obliviate him. He's like, you just screamed at me across all of New York City to obliviate this guy. Immediately, they're likable, relatable, awesome characters, as J.K. Rowling does. But you can't obliviate him because he's wounded. So the 3 of them are now a unit, and she can't go back to the Ministry of Magic or the MACUSA because she's been disgraced. It's also late at night. So her plan is to keep an eye on the Nomaj who's wounded.
Yeah.
Take her back to her apartment where her sister lives. Maybe the best character in the movie.
Maybe. She's very lovable.
She's awesome. Her name is
Queenie.
And it's 1920s New York, so as they're going up the stairs, she's like, so we can keep him here overnight, we'll go deal with it tomorrow. But there's one thing, I'm not allowed to have gentlemen in my apartment. So they go up, they sneak in, apartment's there, and all the Nomaj is just seeing all kinds of magic shit.
Yeah.
But he thinks he's dreaming, and he's been kind of poisoned by this creature. So he's just like, whatever, this is awesome. And then he sees this witch standing in the back room of the apartment wearing a little 1920s slip. And she's like, oh, Tina, you brought men over.
Yeah.
And she can read minds.
She can read minds.
She can read minds.
What was the name for that? I didn't catch that.
Legimens.
Oh, that was
it's in the books,
okay,
yeah.
I just forgot about it.
Voldemort can read minds,
Yeah.
so Snape's got to teach all clemency to kind of block the thing.
Wait, do you think she has anything to do with that?
With Voldemort, I doubt it.
Okay. Alright.
No. So, Anyway, so now we have 4 characters who are pretty adorable. They have a nice magical dinner together. She's reading minds, very fun scene. And Newt is just sitting there not saying anything. Just very like,
he's so awkward.
But the No-Maj, Kowalski, is just like, this is awesome.
He's like sitting there, and he's like got his like napkin tucked into his shirt, and with a fork and knife, he just looks over at Newt, and he's like, sit down. Like,
come on, food. And she's like, oh, you can read minds? And she goes, oh, don't worry about it, sweetheart. Most guys think what you were thinking when they meet me for the first time. And she's like, I've never talked to a No-Maj because it's revealed in America, the rules of wizarding law say you can't fraternize with non-wizards, you can't be friends with non-wizards, and you can't date or marry a non-wizard. So right away, JK is layering in the whole,
it's a big thing.
We're all people, no discrimination.
Yeah, just so who you are.
So Queenie's just entranced with this No-Maj, and they've got really cute chemistry together right away. And there's a moment where they're all sitting around talking, and she's like, really, are all No-Maj people like you? And then she looks at her sister, Tina, who's the staunch Auror, and she just goes, I'm not flirting. Very cute scene. So they go to bed. They bring the 2-boy Coco.
I know, that's
it's very sweet.
Cute.
And then Newt's in his bed just like, I just want to go to sleep. And fucking Kowalski's like, dude, they made us Coco.
Yeah, I know.
Like, this is awesome.
But as soon as they close the door, he's just like, rips off the sheets. He's
fully
dressed. Clothed, and then he's got his suitcase, and he just doesn't say a word, but he just opens it up, climbs inside, which finally we're like, oh, okay.
And sitting on the floor, so he just goes into the suitcase.
And then one hand comes out.
Well, no, before that, he just puts down, and the guy's holding his tea, or his Coco. He goes, then disappears into the suitcase, and then he goes, ha! Because he's just entranced by the whole thing. Like, essentially...
Wait, Kowalski did that?
Yeah, he laughed. He just went, hee hee hee. Just like you would later on when you drink the giggle beer.
Oh, okay. That's
Same
what
thing.
I was thinking of.
He just went, hee hee, and He didn't want to, like, let the women know that they're doing this thing. And that's, like, that character, he is every American child reading Harry Potter for the first time being like, fuck it, are you kidding me?
That's true, that is
like, it's all through his eyes.
Yeah.
And it's, of course, a great way to, you need an American character who's not, like, part of it. Like, you need a Han Solo. You need someone who's not part of the mystic to kind of be in there. Someone you can talk to and give exposition to. B, when they go into the suitcase, he is the audience identification factor. Because Newt's just like, here are my creatures, and I'm feeding them and going about his job like a fucking, zookeeper would. And he's just like, holy shit. Because, of course, the suitcase is huge, and it's got, like, 6 different environments inside.
It's amazing!
And I think it was all one shot, like, designed to be all one shot.
I didn't notice that, because I don't pay attention to that. But the magic was there, and, like, you see...
And the score's going.
Well, you start, actually, before you even see all the environments, it just looks like a little workshop, because...
Oh, right.
Because Jacob sits down, right, and Newt immediately starts grabbing shit and, like, starts making an antidote, basically, to give to him. And
the most words he said the whole movie.
Yeah.
He starts talking about something he loves.
But, like, you see him immediately, like, get into who he is, and, like, he's not all awkward anymore, and, like, he's so comfortable, and, like...
here's some venom, here's a root, here's some magic shit, I'm gonna make some stuff for your cut.
And, like, he's knowledgeable, and
immediately heals the guy. Immediately heals Kowalski.
And he's fine. But then it opens up from this workshop, and you see there's so much more, and, like, all these huge creatures.
The first one we meet is the American Eagle. That's why
huge thing?
Yeah, that's why he's in America.
That wasn't the first thing. That was the last thing. No, that was the cherry on. Well, one of the last things. Are you sure?
I'm positive. The cherry on top was the creepy
we'll get to that later.
But yeah, the first thing you see is this massive eagle with like 4 wings. I don't know what it's called. And Newt starts talking to the eagle, and all of a sudden you're like, that's when it clicked what he was doing, the performance.
Yeah.
He's socially repressed, doesn't understand humans. Probably hasn't had a friend since we'll get to that. He's got some dark history, but probably hasn't had a friend in a while. But when he's in this world, they're his friends, his animals, and he's like, "This is why I'm really here. I found him captured, caged, wounded, and I had to bring him back to his home. We're going to Arizona, the wild, and it's this huge eagle, and like it can make weather happen, like it can go in the clouds and make the rain.
Later.
Well, it happens in that scene, but yeah.
And
he makes a little umbrella out of his wands.
Oh yeah, that's true.
They laid J.K. Rowling's a genius writer. The foreshadowing in this movie, every little thing.
So smart.
Yes. So we meet all these various creatures. Some we recognize as Harry Potter fans. Bowtruckles are in there. Obviously the Niffler was gone, but they talked about the Niffler. We meet a bunch of new stuff, just like 17 different creatures. And the whole time, Newt's giving exposition, but also giving character stuff. Like, I love my animals so much. Like, they're not harmful.
People just don't understand them. Like, which is another theme, like, ties into the other guy with the that weird mom or whatever.
Oh, yeah, Ezra.
Ezra. Just like, they're just misunderstood, but if you talk to them in a certain way, then they'll respond.
There was a line earlier where Newt says, yeah, my suitcase has animals in it. Beasts. And Tina says, what? I've been studying for a year. I'm here now in America looking for something, some fake plot. He's like lying while he's there. But yeah, I'm hoping to go back and write a book. And she goes, what, on how to destroy them? Like an extermination manual? And very quietly, he's like, no, on how to live with these creatures because they're awesome.
Yeah.
And they are. They're all thoroughly awesome creatures. I can't even really describe them. My imagination's not good enough. And you get that line where finally Kowalski's like, Newt, I don't think I'm dreaming. And Newt Vary's just feeding dragons. Like, what clued you in? It's like, my brain isn't good enough to imagine this shit.
Yeah.
Like, it's... And then there's the thing. Like, look, some animals escaped. Where would, like, we're in this, like, empty desert plain thing. Like, where would you say in New York City would be, like, something with open plains, an animal that likes open plains, trees, and a water source? I guess Central Park. Well, come with me and help me through the thing. Really? You're sure that's cool? But, like, the ladies, they gave us cocoa.
Oh, yeah. But even, like, we remember right after that, right? I guess they shoot, like, in a scene back in the apartment where they open it up and see that they're gone.
Yeah.
And,
We
like,
gave them cocoa.
I know, and that's what Queenie says. She's like, but I made him cocoa. And you're like, oh.
They're connected, those two.
They're already connected.
So Newt says, like, yeah, they gave us cocoa, but, like, you have to understand, the moment they realize you're not sick anymore, they're going to obliviate you. And he's like, what does that mean? It's like, you're just going to wake up like a dream. You'll never remember any of this.
Yeah.
And you see Wide-Eyed, he's like, I'm not going to remember any of this? All right, fuck it, let's go to Central Park.
Yeah.
And then the chase is on. So they go out, there's a goofy sequence where there's a giant rhino that's in heat, so Newt's commander has to do a mating dance.
Okay, real quick, sidebar. What was up with that rhino? What did that rhino have in this area?
I think they might have been eggs.
Eggs or like...
Because he was in heat.
Didn't it make it like...
It fucked the tree.
magma-like?
Yeah,
like
it was
lava
weird.
rock, like igneous rock and shit?
Yeah. So,
okay, all right.
while that's going on, the actual plot of the movie, the real heavy shit that J.K. Rowling is good at layering in, essentially it's just like a Harry Potter book. You're having fun with the kids and they're going to school and going to classes, but underneath all that is the real plot of each book. In this case, the fun is new people have met, they're becoming friends, they're looking for animals. The real plot is those anti-magic, they're called the New Salem people. They're out there hating on magic. Back at the American Ministry, MAC USA, the president and Colin Farrell are like trying to hunt them down. And you realize that Colin Farrell has been using Ezra Miller, his name is Credence, as kind of like a mole. So he's reporting because he had a vision.
Right, because he had some vision about, like, he knows where to find the Obscura.
Well, all we know is there's a destruction.
Oh, we
There's
don't know about...
There's some destruction
it's
going on.
some child, right? 10 years old or younger.
We don't know the gender, but it involves you, it involves your mother. Find that kid, and I can take you away from your horrible life.
Like, I don't know about you, but I just thought it was that girl the entire time, which they kind of filmed it like that.
Yeah,
like, they would show the girl immediately after those conversations. Oh, I know. She's like playing
One, two, gotta kill the witch.
Oh, I hated that.
Very creepy. So yeah, he's been using this kid who's been abused his whole life. He's an orphan, because J.K. Rowling likes orphans. Been abused his whole life. She beats him whenever he's late. And it's really well done. Like, he comes home late from that meeting with Colin Farrell. And she's like, where were you, Credence? And he's like, I was at the thing looking for tomorrow's meeting. There's a spot on 32nd. And he just stops. And then you just, like, it's on her. She just looks fucking angry and stone-faced. And you hear just a belt being unbuckled. You don't see it. And he hands her the belt, and she, like, leads him upstairs. And then scene ends. You're like, oh, God. Like, she's gonna beat the shit out of that little kid. So she's using all these kids, like, all these orphan children. That's what she does. She brings orphans into her home, gives them food in exchange for sending them out into the streets with these no magic flyers.
Yeah, giving out her propaganda.
Meanwhile, Colin Firth is using Ezra Miller's character to try and track down this thing because he's seen something, he's had a visual thing terrible happen that involves a little kid. And it could be any one of them. So all that's going on, a lot of horrible things. Rhino has a mating ritual thing, Eddie Redmayne does a dance.
Yeah, that was funny.
It's pretty cute.
Then it chases Jacob all over the
yeah, Kowalski. Eddie Redmayne's like, here, put this helmet on. Like, why would I need to wear this? Because you have a cranium that cannot sustain severe...
how did all that shit get out of the zoo, by the way? Because didn't you notice the ostrich was, like, fucking running down the trail?
Yeah, I'm assuming the rhino broke into shit.
Okay. Alright. Okay.
Oh yeah, and then there's that great moment where, like, before they get to the zoo, they catch the Niffler first, which is just at a jewelry shop. And they make a huge mess, the police show up, and they're fucking covered in jewels. Because Eddie Redmayne is like, Accio, you know, to summon the thing, and it's really cool slow motion shots, like, necklaces flying, and then they get it, and they're just covered in necklaces and diamonds. Jacob's got his hands up, the police have shown up, and he just goes, they went that way, officers.
Okay, that was hilarious, but also the best part of that scene was the Niffler trying to blend in and, like, still, like
a mannequin holding watches.
And, like, Eddie Redmayne's just like,
he's got this eyebrow up, like, giving it a stern parent look.
Runs, but, like, they can just apparate out of anything.
For the record, when those police showed up, it was not the first time the police are going to show up in this movie. The first time they showed up and they had their guns drawn, it was like, what the fuck? Guns in a Harry Potter movie. It was very strange. He's going to get more Haven. I'm drinking Dynamo. So they're tracking down animals. After they track down the rhino, very fun action sequence where they get the giant rhino back in the case. Tina tracks them down and locks the suitcase with them in it.
That bitch.
So she picks the suitcase up and she's going to take it back to Mac USA. Meanwhile, the Salem people, the new Salem people, have gone to a newspaper place. They're going to try and do a story on how there are witches. That's what all this fucking weird shit's about. And while they're there, the newspaper man's son, who's running for Senate, says to Ezra Miller, "You're a freak, and your family's a freak. Freakity freak, just really this mean dickhead."
That guy was such an asshole.
Just a jerk. So, as she's returning the suitcase, we cut to a big political rally, which felt very fucking apropos. J.K. Rowling's a genius.
Yeah, that's why I asked you when she fucking wrote that.
Yeah.
Because, like,
it's very on point.
For it to coincide right now.
So there's a political rally for this guy running for Senate, and while he's there, the whatever it is shows up.
We don't know what it is.
And we can't really see it. It looks like a wind.
It's just kind of invisible.
A wind with eyes is how it's been described.
Well, like, we saw it before, right? Like, it was under the street, and, like, all the cobblestones came up, but, like, we don't know what is causing that. It's very Tremors-like.
And people seem to, yes.
Remember that?
And the wizards seem to think it's a creature. It's not a human doing this, it's a creature.
Yeah.
So that shows up at the political rally and essentially sucks the life out of the senator, the guy who said said that all the Salem people were freaks, including the little girl and the family, everybody.
Yeah.
And he just looks like
like he's all scarred up on his face.
Yeah.
Like it looks like someone like slashed him because they slashed the flag behind him where he was giving his speech.
Yeah, it's very Trump-esque. Not to get too political about it. Anyway, so she goes to Nomash, not Nomash. She goes to Mac USA. There is a huge council of wizards from around the world having a meeting because a Nomash has died in New York City. There is a creature on the loose. This is your fault. What the fuck? And she's like, "Well, I have a thing." And suitcase, it's in the trailer. There's a wizard arrived yesterday in New York City carrying this case, which is full of animals. Some of them have escaped.
Right.
So, of course, they blame her. And there's a great moment where, like, you hear from off camera, the first British voice you hear aside from Eddie Redmayne's, you hear, "Scamander!" And he's like, "Oh, hello, Minister." Like, the Minister of Magic is there.
Yeah.
What are you really doing in America? So, the three of them are placed under arrest. The Nomash, Kowalski, is placed under arrest. Tina is placed under arrest because she kept it quiet. And Kowalski, because he's a Nomash, is placed under arrest. And the Commander, because he brought what they assume is the creature that's killing everybody in. Then they're all handcuffed and led away, and he starts screaming, "Don't hurt my animals. They're harmless. Don't hurt my animals."
That was heartbreaking.
Like, do what you want because they take the case. Do what you want to me. Like, but like, please, you can't hurt the animals. Like, they're not. They're harmless. Like, they're not dangerous. Nothing in that case is dangerous.
Yeah. Then they take them to what's something I just forgot, a giant fucking pensieve in the ground.
Pensieve/murder pool,
What is that thing? I didn't even remember it. So, like,
they're sentenced to death.
The way that it operates, she's like, they take a memory out, good memories, put it into this big pensieve in the floor. Which
it's
looks
a creepy
like a big
Auschwitz
white
room.
Cell.
Like, there's just brick walls and pipes.
Yeah, with like just, and then
and
like
a huge
that
pool and
mirror.
a floating chair.
Yeah, and then she takes the good memories, put them in, and so we get to see like glimpses into Tina's life finally.
The idea being that Tina is going to see something comforting, so she won't think about her death. So it was
her mother.
Yeah, come inside, play.
Some other thing that we saw that I can't remember right now.
Something about her, and then we see Credence.
But no, wait. Before that, where did you? Oh, she had a memory with Credence.
That's why she's not an Auror anymore. Remember?
What?
So we see a memory.
I'm confused.
Well, before we get to there, let's do the interrogation scene because that's where we get Colin Farrell's awesome moment.
I missed that. All right, I remember movies out of order.
Yes, she does that. In the interrogation room scene, they're talking about what it could be, and the body has been shown, the dead Nomash, and immediately he's like, "That's not a creature, that's an obscura." And you're like, "What the fuck's an obscura?" Like, we saw one in his suitcase.
Yeah, it looks scary.
It's just this dark-looking thing.
This orb that.
It looks like the best way to describe it is like water and sand swirling around all the time.
I thought it was going to be a Dementor at first.
Yeah, that would have been interesting.
Yeah.
So, what's an obscura? Anyway, they bring Newt in and they find in his suitcase the obscura, and he describes what it is. Because Kowalski says, like, anyone will fucking tell me what the hell's going on, what's an obscura? What an obscura is, and this is where we get to the heart of the movie. Back in the day, when magicians were not living underground, wizards not living underground, and they were being persecuted, children were repressing their magical abilities. They were keeping it inside, and that's not good for you, so it would turn dark and evil and escape and begin to attack. And when that happens, they say that, like, an obscura can't live past the age of 9 or 10. Like, it's too powerful, it essentially just obliterates the host. So the one that Newt has in his suitcase, he found a girl in Africa who was going through that. He was able to remove the dark presence from her, but then she died. So the thing that he's got in his suitcase is a benign entity. It's just like a dark thing, he wants to study it. And Colin Farrell says, he's like, so, you know, you want to use it. And Newt says, what would I want to use it for? He's like, well, what about Grindelwald? He's like, I'm not one of the people who wants to destroy others, sir. Like, what do you think my motives are? Like, you gotta kill thousands for the greater good? And Colin Farrell's like, yeah, exactly, that's what I think you're doing. He's like, no, I wouldn't want to do that. So what is this? It's obscure, blah, 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 little girl, it's not threatening. And Colin Farrell says, oh, so it's useless without a host. And his commander goes, this is a dark spell that killed a 9-year-old girl. What would you possibly want to use it for? Then he says, they're sentenced to death. So Tina and Newt. Then we cut to Queenie, who's, in Reed Bynes, who's in the ministry, and she like drops her coffee. She's gonna start the escape plan. But before we get there, now we get to the fucking murder room.
Okay, sorry. I missed a lot.
And they pull her memories out.
They pull her memories, so just positive ones. They're in the pen.
It's not gonna hurt, darling. That's the line.
You can see that she's talked with
Credence and his mother, his adopted mother.
Yeah, and so like something happens there.
What you see is Credence cowering and the mother standing over her with a belt. So she saw something that happened.
Yeah.
And she's no longer an Auror, and she was told to stay away from the New Salem people. So something.
Don't you think that that's his sister?
The one who died?
Tina? She's not related to them, right?
No.
Right.
She was just checking in on them, and she saw something awful.
Okay, that's
which
just
was
weird
him
that
being
she would be there at
him
all.
being beaten.
Anyways, the way that it works is like once the woman puts it in there, and like Tina's like, oh, my mother, you know, like you can see she's like
she's
happy.
basically sitting on a chair that's being submerged.
She's not in the chair yet.
Oh, right.
She's not. She's just standing over it, and the woman's like, don't you want to get in? Like that's the fucking creepiest thing I've ever
and she's
heard.
like, yeah, I do. I do want to go
And
in.
then she goes sit in the chair, and then it's gonna like lower her in or something.
Meanwhile, Queenie's managed to free Kowalski because she could read minds. So the guy who's like leading him away to be obliviated, she's like, I'll obliviate him, and he's like, can't do that, you're not qualified. And then she's like, so Johnny, does Brenda know that you're seeing Daphne or whatever? He's like, how do you know that? Doesn't matter. Point is, if you let me take him, she'll never know.
Queenie is great.
Queenie's pretty rad. So she's like, something's gonna happen. I've seen, you know, I'm worse was going. We have to go fucking save them. And she gets the suitcase back, Newt's animals, and she goes to rescue them. Except that Newt saves.
How did Newt even save that? It was like,
well, first of all, he's got the bow truckle. He's got the bow truckle.
Oh right.
He tried to put the bow truckle back with his family, but like there's a bit of separation anxiety. So he's got this little stick bug thing that can pick locks just with him all the time. So it's picking the locks.
All right.
He's also got the yo-yo bird. I don't know how to describe it. It's this thing that he can just like throw out and it gets huge.
I forgot that was in him still, or not in him.
In his pocket. So they escape the murder pit, and all four of them are back together, and they all manage to leave in the suitcase. All the three convicts are hiding in the suitcase, and Queenie very coolly just like leaves like a badass. She is such a like. So what were you saying, Credence and thing and teaching?
It's thinking about what happens in the end of the movie.
But you can, spoilers, you can go and tell them if you want.
I mean, we already know that Colin Farrell is a bad dude, right?
He's not good.
He's not good, and like, but you can see that Credence trusts him so fully because like the entire time, whatchamacallit, Colin Farrell is just like, hey, you're safe now, like, you're gonna help me, and then I'm gonna help you, I'm gonna teach you how to be a wizard, and you will be able to, like, learn all of this stuff, right? And so, like, that's why Credence trusts him so much, which is so heartbreaking in the end.
And as an audience member, you're sitting there thinking, like, it's, okay, so maybe he has magical abilities.
Right.
And if he's got magical abilities, maybe his sister, whose name is...
Modesty.
Modesty, maybe she's the one who's the Obscura, this little girl who's been hiding her magical abilities because their mother is fucking
Well, that
insane.
makes sense, too, because Colin Farrell already said 10 years old and younger, and Credence is far above 10 years old.
Yeah, he's Ezra Miller, so...
He's a teenager. He's not really a teenager, but he plays a teenager really well.
So, and just so wounded, like, he doesn't smile this whole fucking movie, it's just painful.
He has his head down the entire time.
So
he won't even make eye contact.
Colin Farrell is like, you got to fucking find this kid, the time is approaching, people are gonna get hurt, you gotta find the kid. So, cut to Ezra Miller under his sister's bed, and she finds a wand. He finds a wand. And the little girl comes in, and she's like, it's just a, give it back, Creed, it's just a toy. And then Mom catches them.
Oh, God. I've audibly
out loud said,
like, oh no. Shit.
Yeah.
Like, I know all too well.
So they go in the hallway, and the mother's like, all right, take it off. It's time for me to beat you with the belt again. And the little girl was like, it's mine. It was my toy. It was my doll.
Good.
It was my wand. She snaps the wand, and the one she snaps it doesn't go like, psh, it is just a toy wand. And it's so heartbreaking. Ezra Miller, Credence is like, Ma! And she's like, I'm not your ma. Your ma was a despicable, undesirable, strange woman. And that strangeness is a part of you. And then the belt starts to, like, the belt that's on the floor starts in her hand. And it goes out of her hand. There's cuts on her hand now. And she's like, what is this? And then the little girl goes to run and hide, and then she gets killed by the Obscura. The house gets destroyed. Mm-hmm. And that's the first sign you're like, oh, fuck. Maybe it's Ezra Miller.
Where did that Obscura come from?
That's him. That's the only Obscura we see is it's Ezra Miller's, spoilers, Ezra Miller's thing.
Okay.
So, Colin Firth finds him again and says, we gotta find him. We gotta find
Colin Firth.
Sorry, Colin Farrell. Finds him again. Colin Firth played Gilderoy Lockhart. Oops.
Whoa, we did? The same guy from Pride and Prejudice?
Yeah, Gilderoy Lockhart.
The same guy from Bridget Jones's Diary.
Love Actually.
The same guy from The King and I.
And Love Actually. The King and I? The King's Speech?
Sure, whatever.
Yes.
Oh, yeah,
he played,
King and I is the other guy.
He played Gilderoy Lockhart. Anyway.
Wait,
Colin Farrell tracks him down again. And
Magic and Me, Gilderoy Lockhart?
Yes. Magical Me. I'm telling you the truth. Anyway, finally it comes out, like, I was using you, you were a squib. You've got magical heritage, but there's no magic in you, credence. So we gotta find your sister, because she's the one. Then he finds the sister, and the walls start to fucking collapse, and there's Ezra Miller standing there like fucking Damien, demon child. And you just hear, hey, Credence, I owe you an apology. And he goes, I trusted you. You were gonna take me away, you were gonna teach me.
He was pissed.
And he says, you can control it. The fact that you're old enough, it's amazing, you can control it. And he goes...
And it's way past 10 years old.
He goes, I don't think I want to. And then poof, he becomes this massive fucking cloud of like sand and water and really cool CGI effect. And that starts fucking ravaging New York City. Just essentially a Transformers movie, but without a portal or a villain that's like getting revenge. Just a hurt, confused, wounded kid. So up on the roof, they see this destruction happening. And then you find out like it's gotta be Credence because Tina says, I saw what happened. The reason why she's not an Auror anymore is that she attacked Credence's mother. And she got too invested, so they removed her license and said you can't do it anymore. So Eddie Redmayne's got this really badass moment where he hands the suitcase to Tina, and he's like, if I don't come back alive, take care of my animals, and then he's fucking gone.
But then Tina does the same thing to Queenie, and she's gone.
Yeah, and then she's about to hand it to fucking Kowalski, and Kowalski's like, hey, ho. No. He's like, I can't take you with me, and she's very sad. And we skip the part earlier in the movie. Queenie says to Kowalski, Kowalski's like, well, you're not going to obliviate me? She goes, nah, you're one of us now.
Yeah.
That gets called back, where he's like, you said I'm one of you now, right? So that those two stay behind, and Tina and Eddie Redmayne go off to the climax. And again, like, you see police fire guns at magic in this movie, and it was really weird for me. I don't know if you had that moment, but it was a really strange, like, God, America sucks. Like, there's no guns in any Harry Potter story until, like...
True. I need to think about it, because, like, there's this... Are you talking about when there's, like, this huge like,
smoke
shield?
Thing. No, before that. Before the magic, the wizards show up. They're, like, behind, like, 20... God damn it! Will you turn it off and zoom in? Sorry, the camera keeps overheating because it's fucking November in Texas.
It was
anyway.
Cold yesterday.
There's a big climax, and it's fucked up, and, we gotta get to the sad stuff where the camera overheats again, the parts that made us tear up. Zoom in a little tighter, Kevin. So, they track the kid to the subway is closed off, they put shields up, thank you. They put shields up, so nobody can get in, it's closed off except for Eddie Redmayne, Colin Farrell, and whoever plays Tina. And they're in there with Credence, who's this thing. And now you see, she's such a good writer, how does he relate to his beasts? He just talks to them very naturalistically, very calmly. He talks to Credence the same way, like, Credence, it is Credence, right? Like, I know people like you, I can help you. It's really fucking moving.
That was very moving.
And he comes out of the dark cloud back to being Ezra Miller again.
You just see him, like, huddling. Like, he's scared. All he is scared. You can see it.
Yeah.
Like, he's got this uncontrollable power, but he's so angry on the inside as well, so...
And then Colin Farrell shows up and ruins the whole thing, and they're having a duel while Credence is fucking things up. Back as the Obscura. Then Tina shows up and starts talking, and he calms down. It's very King Kong. It's like, keep talking, Tina. He remembers you.
Yeah.
It's gonna be cool. And just when it seems like everything might be okay, they can talk this kid off the ledge, because that's what we're dealing with
like
here. It's just
15 wizards walk in?
Yeah, 15 American Aurors walk in.
With the lead of the Makusa?
With the
Minister of Makusa?
With their wands, president. With their wands drawn. And Eddie's just like, no, do not attack him. Like, he's just, no, don't do it.
Yeah.
And even Colin Farrell, like, he says at one point, like, don't listen to Colin Farrell, we want to save you, he wants to use you. And Colin Farrell faked me out. He went, no, I don't want to use you, I just want you to be free. It's okay. And then he turns on his army, and he says, like, nobody hurts him on my orders. They ignore him, and bang, 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 and I can't believe she did it, But the tortured, wounded kid who is his anger and rage and confusion and pain has caused all the trauma, he doesn't get saved.
Yeah.
He gets, he just, it's a really heartbreaking moment, CGI moment still, where Ezra Miller inside the cloud just fucking screams.
Yeah, well, and it's happening.
And he's ripped to pieces.
It's ripped to pieces, and it's visualized as like this like black smoke, right? Like really wispy.
Black smoke and ashes.
And that lasted multiple scenes. Like,
yeah,
it
the
was
ash
still
all around,
falling
the pain of the kid.
for like maybe 15 whole minutes, right?
His horrible upbringing ripped him to pieces. So now we think, okay, movie's over. Except Colin Farrell's pissed, and he says, can't believe what you've done. You realize what you've done. We stopped. We had to. Like this kid. We're out into the whole world now.
He took a life.
He broke our law. Yeah, he took a life. He broke our laws. And then Colin Farrell goes, "What law is that? Who's protected by that law? A law?" And then he does this. They're in the subway right now. And he goes, "Who's protecting them or us?" Uh-oh. And I remember thinking from the beginning, I bet you he's a follower of Grindelwald. He probably wants to. And Grindelwald's plot, if you remember the 7th book, Grindelwald is a magician who wants to take over the humans and come out of the closet and say, look, we're here and you need to follow us. And Dumbledore was his friend for a while and agreed with him. The idea being he could save humanity. Of course, they split apart. Join us in Fantastic Beasts Part 2, I'm sure.
I hope. Cool.
So, he's like, I can't do this anymore. He fucking leaves. And then you hear the president say, arrest him, take his wand, take him away. And then there's a close-up on Colin Farrell's face, and you see his face go like from solemn angry to like, all right, let's do this shit. And then he fucking starts deflecting spells left and right, just doing all this shit.
He looks pretty badass, I'm not gonna lie.
Scamander fucking throws his bird at the guy.
Yeah.
They get the wand away from him, and then Eddie Redmayne says, Revelio. Spoilers! Colin Farrell starts to fade, and who's under it but a bleach blonde Johnny Depp?
Grindelwald.
Creepy as fuck. Grindelwald himself.
Very creepy.
Oh, and he mumbles something that they arrest him. Do you really think you can hold me? I'm like, we'll find out. And then on the way out, he mumbles something to Eddie Redmayne, which sounded like, do we die a little? I don't know what the fuck that means.
So what I think that means is like what you said earlier in this very video when we were sitting on this couch. It's just like, he's willing to die, right?
Yeah.
For the greater cause.
Yes.
His greater cause. Like, okay, like, one person spared, however many, 100?
Yeah.
For all of us wizards to be able to, like, rule over this world or something?
Yeah. And you see Redmayne was like, he's really visibly shaken by the fact, holy shit.
Yeah.
So Grindelwald's led away. Then they're like, fucking, we owe you an apology, Scamander. Clearly this wasn't your fault. We can't erase memories of an entire city. And he's like, I think we can. And they set it up earlier. There's this creature who has, like, obliviating powers in its venom.
Yeah.
He hands that to the Eagle Buddy. The Eagle Buddy is set free over New York. The score is going. He goes to a cloud. Lightning strikes. Seeds the cloud with that Obliviate juice. And it starts raining on New York. And every muggle stops and starts to forget. And the newspaper headlines are erased from magical headlines to worst rain ever.
And all the wizards are busy putting back together
they're rebuilding the city. It's gorgeous. The eagles flying around.
It is good animation, like good everything.
It's beautiful. It's a wonderful little denouement. Like, oh, the story's over. Then everything's put together. Back in the subway, that roof gets fixed, and you hear, "Is the Nomad still here?" And like he's hiding behind Queenie. Yeah. Kowalski is. It's like, obliviate him. I'm sorry, dude. Like I really am, but like you can't even have one witness. No witnesses.
I'll give you time to say goodbye.
And then she walked away. I remember thinking like, oh, okay. She's like, wink, wink, nod, nod.
Yeah, no, that's what I
obliviate
thought
him
too.
when I'm not around.
Yeah.
Then they go up the stairs. They're in this little, and then we all cry. They're in this little subway arch. It's raining just beyond the arch. And he starts to walk towards Randy, stops, turns around and faces his 3 friends and says, it's all right, guys. I was never supposed to know any of this, right? I
wasn't supposed to be here.
I wasn't supposed to know. And like you'd see it's visibly said, don't worry about it, because he's the nicest dude. I gotta cut back to earlier. When Newt and Kowalski first start on their adventure out in Central Park. Newt says, I was watching you at dinner, Jacob. People like you, don't they? And he's like, I'm sure they like you too, Newt. He's like, no, they don't. People think I'm annoying. So now we're back at the end. We're back under the rain. He's like, don't worry about it. Like, we all know Newt. We all know Newt just kept me around for. Hey, Newt, why'd you keep me around? And here's where I fucking lost it. Because I liked you. Because you're my friend.
Aww.
And I'll never forget how you helped me. Cut back to, and he goes, oh.
Yeah, and he just starts tearing up.
And Queenie is losing it.
I know.
Because that's her boy, like that's her first nomage and like their connection. And he says, it's just like waking up, right? And he steps out into the rain. And I'm sitting there dying inside.
I know.
Like, there's no way J.K. Rowling's gonna let this happen. He goes in the rain, he looks up, he closes his eyes. Then Queenie steps out.
With her umbrella.
Her little wand umbrella, little invisible thing. And you tell the Sparks. I think this is where I heard you start to lose it around there.
Oh God! She shoots her umbrella up so she's protected from the rain, but then she goes there and puts it over and she just kisses him, right? I don't think she actually even says anything.
Just kisses him.
Just
and it's their
kisses
only
him.
kiss. Like
that's because they've wanted to kiss. Like it's the tension has been there.
Yeah, there's clearly
and
a
so
thing.
like. I mean, I thought maybe like she was gonna save him or like grab him and pull him back
and she didn't say like I'll go with you, like I'll go live, like I,
Yeah.
she was ready to just give it all up.
But it was
like,
just a kiss.
and then she pulls back, and it's the Kowalski in profile. So
And
this
so,
way.
yeah,
and
and
he pulls back,
his mouth is still open.
and she pulls back out of frame, and then he
Yeah.
opens his eyes, and they're gone.
It was just so
They're fucking
sad.
gone. And like this is where she goes, God damn it, J.K. Rowling.
Yeah, oh my
Like, oh,
God.
so painful. From there, we cut to another scene that's fucking sad. We cut to the docks, and it's Eddie Redmayne, and it's Newt and Tina this time, and they've also had a connection a little bit.
Yeah.
I forgot, I skipped a bit.
We know that they're both alone.
They're both alone, they both have a very strong connection, but the real setup was back when all four of them, they get all the animals, they return it back to Newt's case, before like the climax happens. There's a picture of someone.
There's a picture of some little strange
There's a
girl.
picture of a woman in the thing, and what's her name?
Something
Tina's
Lestrange.
sister. What's Tina's sister's name?
Queenie.
Queenie says, who is that woman? And he's like, oh, nobody. And then she goes, somebody Lestrange, can't remember the name. Lestrade. And you're like, oh shit, that's the first connection back to, Bellatrix Lestrade.
Yeah.
And he's like, please don't read my mind. She's like, I'm sorry, I can't help it. It's easier to read people's minds when they're hurting. And he's like, I'm not hurting. And then she just goes, like, you were close. Like, you were, because he got expelled. He was expelled from Hogwarts. He was an outsider. He was a loner. You were a loner, and so was she. And you guys bonded. And then there's a beat, and she goes, she was a taker, Newt. You need someone who's a giver. And I don't know if you noticed, but in the background, that's when Tina entered the frame.
I didn't notice that.
Yeah. So anyway, Newt had a friend. He had one friend before Kowalski that we know of. And she fucked him over. Really hard. Anyway, so now Tina and Newt are on the boat. He's on the dock. He's about to leave. And it's really like, she's got tears in her eyes. And she's like, I'm going to go write my book. He's like, yeah, good luck with your book. Send me a copy. He's like, yeah. And then he leaves. Goes back. Actually, would you mind if I gave you yours in person? And she's like, no, I'd love that. And then he goes on the bridge to get in the boat, and he stops. And then he keeps going. And you die a little more inside. Then we cut to the bakery. So the whole time, of course, we wanted Kowalski to get his bakery. He didn't get the loan at the beginning. That was his plot before everything got crazy. He just wanted to fucking make pastries because he works in
At
this...
a canning
That line
factory.
killed me. It's like, why do you want to be a baker? Because I hate I'm dying at the canning plant. It's soul crushing. I'm fucking dying.
It killed me on the inside too.
Oh!
It's like, fuck, I need equipment.
he loves to cook. He loves food.
Yeah.
His grandmother taught him how to bake. He wants up in a bakery. So after he's been obliviated, Newt and him bump into each other again with the same briefcase, the same suitcase thing. And I was thinking, like, good, undo it. But they didn't. But
It was the dragon egg.
It's dragon eggs, which are made of silver. There's a note
Money.
saying, Mr. Kowalski, you deserve better than this. Please take these eggs and open your bakery. So they gave him a happy ending, even though he's been obliviated. Cut to his bakery. It is swarming with people.
On all of his pastries,
All the little
are
pastries.
little fantastic beast
All the
sculptures.
creatures we've seen.
Oh my gosh.
And the lady that's like, where do you get your ideas?
Fucking creepy.
There's a
the window. Oh my god. Okay. I'm okay.
There's a customer who says, where do you get your ideas? Mr. Kowalski's like, I don't know. They just come to me.
Yeah.
So you remember, there's inklings, something in there. And then you hear the doorbell, ding, ding, ding. And he looks over, and he looks over and he goes, and it's cut to, it's Queenie.
It's Queenie.
And she just looks at him.
And he looks at her,
And
and
then
like,
it cuts.
you can tell that he kind of remembers.
We'll cut back to a close-up, and I love movies that end on a smile. Like Magnolia or Manhattan, movies where a character smiles at the end. So he sees her, and she smiles at him, and she looks amazing, and just, Cut back to him in a close-up, and he goes, and then he remembers, like you see on his face, starts to remember, and then he smiles,
And it's done.
cut to black.
It's the end.
What the fuck?
Bullshit. She did something magical in that kiss.
Yes.
Something happened.
Something happened. So I don't know if that character's not in the next movie. I'll be very fucking sad.
There's 3, right? That's the plan.
There's a trilogy is the
Okay.
plan. On the ride home, we were talking about how heartbreaking it was, and I was like, I can't believe J.K. Rowling did that. I can't believe she obliviated the No-Maj. And Rachel was like, yeah, but he remembers something. I was like, even if he remembers everything, she made me sit through that scene where the guy says,
well, that's J.K. Rowling.
why'd you bring me along? Because I like you. You're my friend.
So that they could have that
You're
talk.
my friend, yes.
And make sure that everyone knows that they like each other.
So this is a movie about accepting people for who they are. It's about what the damage that can be done when you force people not to be who they are.
Yeah.
I promised I wouldn't get political. I said that earlier in the video, but fuck it. Our soon-to-be vice president he's a fan of conversion therapy, which doesn't work and it's evil. Go watch Fantastic Beasts, Mr. Pence, and go watch Hamilton again so they can boo at you.
Just people are going to be who they're going to be, and you can't change that, and you're doing really bad
Irreparable damage.
Severely, trust me, I know, like, I'm not going to get in my shit, but...
I can't believe Ezra Miller died like that. And this is a movie where the tormented, tortured kid, the wounded victim.
She's making a statement, maybe.
Very much so, man.
I mean, it made a statement. Whether she did it on purpose or not, I don't know. But I mean, it's true. Like,
it's about acceptance. It's about evil not being where you expect it. The idea of a politician who, you know, has more power than he should. The idea of fucking cameras dying all the time. We'll wrap it up after this. Camera died again. So anyway, as I was saying, there's a lot of things going on in this movie. Watch it. It's really important. It's really moving. It's a lot more than just a fun little story.
It still has all of the magic of Harry Potter that is so nostalgic to our generation, but the message there, I'm very strongly about acceptance and about being who you are and
about not trusting power just because it's power and knowing who your friends are and not being closed off to people because they're different.
Exactly.
Final thoughts for me. The score is fantastic. It looks gorgeous. There's a shitload of CGI, but it's not distracting. The characters are all wonderful. The screenplay is spectacular. J.K. Rowling is a goddess. And it's my favorite movie of the year so far, I think. From what I've seen, I think this is the best movie I've seen this year. Go see it. Take your kids if you got them. Talk about it with your friends. What are your final thoughts?
My final thoughts, it was a great reminder of a franchise that I love. And a story
franchise, right?
A story that I grew up with that I immersed myself into and loved and wanted to live there and you got to relive that magic, but also it's very different. It's grown up, it's matured a lot, and it deals with a lot of heavy themes that are what's happening in the world right now.
Yeah, it's very. Same as Utopia was very much of its time.
True, and I love that, and I appreciate that Rowling is just putting it all out there, and just open about everything and trying to make a statement about stuff, whether she intended to or not. She definitely did.
Yeah, I don't know who they're gonna cast to play young Dumbledore. That's going to be interesting.
But we know also, we didn't even mention there was one Dumbledore
reference, yes.
And it was
you were expelled.
It was by Colin Farrell, and who is Grindelwald, and who we know as friends, and Dumbledore is a teacher, a professor already at Hogwarts.
And it says you were expelled. One teacher defended you. Tell me, why does this Albus Dumbledore? What is it he's seeing you that others don't? And Eddie Redmayne just nails Dumbledore. I honestly have no idea.
I know.
Like, this is just, Dumbledore just sees things.
Yeah.
So, those are my final thoughts. I will say, aside from the Dumbledore thing, my only negative, there's a moment in a speakeasy, really fun sequence, magical speakeasy. But there's a random, like, house elf goblin lounge singer
CGI,
wearing, like a strappy dress, and it's very weird.
Very strange.
That's my one little, that's weird.
Well, you know, I don't know if you even noticed, we didn't even talk about the speakeasy because it doesn't even fit into the plot at any point.
I mean, they go there to track down the last monster. Tina happens to know somebody who knows a thing.
Nothing fucking interesting happens.
No, it's just plot thing. Like, I mean, we know, like, nothing interesting happens. We do get another scene where Queenie and Kowalski hang out one-on-one. So it's a character scene.
Yeah.
It's one before the climax comes, here's one more sequence where... And we also skip the entire Macy's sequence where the dragon does a thing. Remember? There's like this weird, like, ape-looking thing, and there's the cockroach, and they gotta catch it in the teapot.
Oh, yeah!
So there's more shit we didn't even talk about.
The
camera keeps dying because it's too fucking hot in here.
We hit the major things, though.
So,
Go see it.
It's a lot of fun. We didn't spoil everything. There's a lot of fun stuff in there. If you're an animal lover, if you're a British person lover, if you're a magic lover, it's really good.
If you're a human.
Yeah, go
And
see
you're
it.
a human who appreciates other people's ideas.
And if you want to have some fun, take one of your Trump supporter friends out there and watch it with them, and then ask them why they didn't like it.
Bye!
See you next time.
Oven's been on for an hour.
That's why it's hot in here. The oven's on.
I gotta put that pizza in there.
Don't point that out.
Alright, it's recording again.
Good, it caught that burp.
wrong with this couch?
Well, that's our Gilmore Girl spot.
Okay.
You can use either one, dude.
I know, but you're sitting over here, so it's already it's set up now. See, look, there you are.
Hello, world.
Sorry.
I'm like, what are you gonna do? Pull me up?
You just left it at the jive. The jive turkey, that is.
Oh, you can cut this out though.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna. It's more fun to have like the deleted. Remember at the end, I was the deleted scenes.
You know,
Oh
nobody
yeah, I
actually
wanna watch the
cares about any
deleted
of this,
scenes
right?
only.
Dude. And you're pretty adorable when you're not being like aware of cameras. Actually, you're always adorable. What am I saying?
Aw, thanks.
Grab your mead.
Got your meat. Got my meat. The pizza is not in the oven, but the oven is preheating.
Okay.
I'm
You're
gonna
sure
cook
it's
a
not
pizza.
heating?
It's on.
Is this before it heats?
Preheating? It's in the process of heating.
Preheating.
You want to be on pizza
I'm
duty, Kev? In
Actually, no. Fuck that. I like the cold.
like the what?
I
The
said.
cold pizza?
I said I was pro heating. I was just thinking in general. General thinking.